And one I wanted to just highlight today is to feel the way in which what's appearing, what's being experienced right now has this quality to it of um, vitality. Just feel that for a moment. So no matter what you might be labeling what's here, how you might be labeling it, what box, what categorical box you might put it in. Oh, that's a thought. And then any ideas about what kind of a thought it is, a good thought, a bad thought, a positive thought, a negative thought, or this is an emotion, it's a positive, negative, neutral emotion. I like it, I don't like it, all that stuff, right? No matter how it's being designated, let yourself just feel what we could say is more fundamental about all of it, more primal about it all, which is its vitality, its aliveness, the aliveness of everything. No matter what words I'm speaking, no matter what the seeming meaning of those words, what we could say is most fundamental or fundamental to these sounds is their presence, their aliveness, their vitality, right? Feel that. The words, no matter what they are alive. The sounds I'm hearing of cars going by, again, distinct from the sounds of the birds outside, the sounds of my voice. They're all these different, we could say, textures of sound, but they're all sound, they're all vibration, they're all pulsating aliveness, aren't they? The energy of life, the Shakti of life. Feel that pulsing aliveness of everything. You feel what you call the body, and it's this pulsing aliveness, isn't it? This energy, life force. The sounds around you and inside of you, all this pulsing aliveness, this energy. The thoughts arising, more of this pulsing aliveness, a different form of it, we could say, than sound or light or emotion. All of it, this flow, this ceaseless flow of energy, of life force. All there is this flow of life force. The vast, boundless, edgeless sea of aliveness, of vitality, of electric, pulsing, vibrating. When is this ever absent? It is never absent, is it? Experiences, absolutely, coming and going. Pleasure comes and goes, joy comes and goes, sorrow comes and goes. All the flavors, all the moods coming and going, just in this unpredictable, ever changing, appearing and disappearing, this dance, right? The dance of creation and destruction in each moment. But what is this underlying this dance of creativity and the passing away of what has been created in each instant? What's the feel the energy of that creativity, and even the energy of its passing away. Both life and death are expressions of this vital energy, the energy of what is. there's nothing separate from this energy. Everything is its expression. We are not standing over here noticing the energy. We are the expression of this energy. Everything is its expression. These bodies we often identify with, they are energy, aren't they? This material, seemingly concrete material form. It's a dance of electricity, isn't it? Dance of energy. Everything about us is this vitality, this aliveness, pulsing. Every sense, seeing, feel the energy of your seeing, the pulsing of that, the presence of that, the vitality of your seeing. It's alive. The seeing is alive. The hearing is alive. The touching is alive. The tasting. It's all alive. It's all so alive. Imagine the end of a long day, just a lot of activity and maybe a lot of challenges, and there's just a sense of just fatigue and exhaustion at the end of the day. And that is the movement of this aliveness, that what we call tired, what we call exhausted. That's its expression. That's the way the aliveness looks. The aliveness can look, the vitality, the energy of this, the Shakti of this, the primal force of this can look like anything, and it looks like everything. So feeling this, which we're always feeling, but just appreciating that we're feeling this, because our attention tends to orient to how we're describing things. What is it, right? What's my description of this? And then a lot of attention goes towards that. Really, so much of our attention is orienting towards that, and not so much towards just the fact of its existence, the fact of its energetic presence. As I've said, I think many times before, it's like we're focused on the story being told by the light on our screen, the screen of reality, and not so much on the light itself, the fact of this that's being projected, we could say, this that's emanating, the primal nature of it, the energetic nature of it. And it's not that one emphasis on those two things, the descriptions or the fact that something is even here. It's not that one is better than the other in terms of what's being emphasized. It's just that so much of our emphasis is on one side of that coin, on the descriptions, that we often have this sense of being tossed and turned, and what we think of as the upheaval of our lives and the difficulties of our lives and the challenges and confusion and the things that humans struggle with, right? The traumas and the disharmony and the stuff that the humans just bump up against, right? And when we're only orienting to that, to the descriptions, and we don't have a sense of this primal presence that underlies all of it, then our well-being seems as if it's being conditioned by how we're describing things, right? That it's dependent upon our freedom, if you will, depends on what's being experienced. Put it in a nutshell. That our well-being depends upon what's being experienced. And from one vantage, it does, we could say, right? Like I have more well-being when I don't have a massive, burning headache or whatever, right? I have less well-being, and when that resolves, I feel like I have a return to well-being, right? That's the, excuse me, the conditioned well-being, and that's fine. Again, I mean, it's just one perspective, the most common one. But no, there's this ground, this groundless ground of well-being that has no opposite, has no lack of well-being. It's the well-being intrinsic to being itself. But just feel the beingness of this moment. That does not depend, this is the key, it does not depend on how it looks. It's always the being, isn't it? No matter how the being looks, it remains the being, the beingness, the existence. That's what I mean by unconditioned. And that's the real freedom. It's the freedom that has no opposite, can't be taken away. There's no lack of freedom anywhere. There's no lack of beingness anywhere. Because all there is this, the energy, the vitality, the beingness of the moment. So it's just making this subtle shift of orientation in what you could say what's being emphasized or noticed, or how we're orienting to this. So just in this little exploration, we're just playing with orienting to the fact that something's here. Because that's without conditions. That does not depend upon how it's seeming to be based on our describing and categorizing. It's indestructible. Nothing can destroy it, because nothing is apart from it that could destroy it. So this is your well-being. It is you, and it's indestructible. Nothing can touch it. Nothing can penetrate it. Nothing can destroy it. Nothing can obscure it, actually. Again, because there's nothing apart from it. It's the continuum of being, the continuum of this life force of energy, that there is no other. There is no other to harm it. There is no other to block it. There is no other to constrain it or limit it or define it or impede it. And as much as that can sometimes sound like philosophy, it's our actual experience right now. That there's just experience. That's what we're experiencing, experience, in all the different forms and shapes it can seem to assume, but always experience, always the subtle energy that is life itself. And we can't even say what that is. I mean, that's a word to describe the indescribable as energy, but